the site of tissue respiration. Respiration takes place in mitochondria, singular mitochondrion. Mitochondria are small and rounded or rod-shaped organelles bound by a double membrane that enclosed a fluid matrix. So in terms of shape, most are rod-shaped like that, or others may be rounded roughly, but internally they're made up of two membranes, an outer and an inner one, that enclose a fluid-filled matrix. Now, this organelle is adapted in the following ways to enhance the process of respiration. Number one, the inner membrane is highly folded to form projections known as cristae. So this is the inner membrane. It is highly folded to form cristae. These cristae create a large surface area onto which respiratory enzymes are bound. So in total, they present a very large surface area for the process of respiration. The second adaptive feature is the presence of this space between the outer and the inner membrane. This intermembrane space is filled with fluid, and it provides, or it's where some respiratory reactions take place, releasing some energy. So as food substances get into the mitochondrion, before they get to the matrix, some of the respiratory reactions will take place in the intermembrane space, thereby enabling the release of some energy. Then the third adaptive feature is the matrix itself. This fluid matrix provides the medium in which the bulk of the reactions take place to release energy. So this is where most of the reactions take place. It is aqueous, it is fluid, thereby providing an optimum medium in which the reactions take place. Now, the mitochondria are very narrow. In fact, they're approximately 1 micrometer in diameter. This reduces the diffusion distance for the respiratory raw materials and products. So because of their very narrow width, it's so easy for oxygen to diffuse right in. Substrates that are required, that are broken down to release energy, also diffuse very easily. And then the products, the waste products, together with the energy in the form of ATP, can diffuse out fast because of the narrowness. So the narrowness reduces the distance for the raw materials and products to move in and out. Presence of numerous mitochondria in various cells and tissues suggests that these are very active cells. For example, in animals, cells in the kidney, cells in the muscles, and sperm cells have large number of mitochondria. This is because they are very active and they require energy at a higher rate than the other cells. In plants, the companion cells of the phloem, the endodermal cells of the roots, and even the root hair cells do have large number of mitochondria because of their high energy demand. Now, during the process of respiration, part of the energy released is in the form of heat, and the other part is in the form of chemical energy. So if this is a food substance and the process of respiration takes place, a good portion of the energy is released in the form of heat and the rest in the chemical energy. In fact, most of it, about 55%, is released in the form of heat, and the remaining 45% is in the form of chemical energy. Now, the heat energy plays an important role in keeping the body warm, especially in homeotherms, especially in the warm-blooded animals such as birds and mammals, but generally all living organisms, for as long as they carry out respiration. They do release energy in the form of heat, and this is what provides the necessary warmth for enzymatic reactions. The chemical energy is used for the formation of the energy-carrying molecules known as adenosine triphosphate, or in short, ATP. This is the structure of the adenosine triphosphate. It consists of the three components: an organic base known as adenosine, a 5-carbon sugar known as ribose, and the phosphates. There are three of them. The first bond to the ribose carries very little energy. Then the second bond, a little bit more energy. It is the third bond that carries a lot of energy. So it is this high energy bond that is made and broken. It is this high energy bond that carries the energy, chemical energy released during respiration. Now, ATP formation occurs when during respiration, when respiration process takes place, chemical energy is released. This chemical energy is used to bind a phosphate molecule to adenosine diphosphate. In adenosine diphosphate, the third phosphate is absent, hence the adenosine diphosphate. So during ATP formation, adenosine diphosphate combines with a phosphate to produce adenosine triphosphate. So structurally, this is adenosine diphosphate. There are two phosphates. It's combined with one phosphate, one phosphate to make one adenosine triphosphate. This reaction is energy consuming, and the energy is derived from the process of respiration. When the food substances are broken down, energy is released. Some of this energy in the form of chemical energy is used to form this bond. Once formed, this ATP that is rich in energy will carry the chemical energy from the site of respiration in the cell to the other part of the cell where the energy is utilized. In the presence of appropriate enzymes, this ATP can be broken down into ADP and phosphate. That is, the reverse reaction takes place in the presence of these ATPase. So once formed in, say, mitochondria, the ATP molecules diffuse out and go to parts of the cell where energy is required. And then the ATP molecules are broken down to release adenosine diphosphate, phosphate, and energy. The adenosine diphosphate and phosphate then diffuse back into the mitochondria to be used in the synthesis of more ATP molecules.